Here we are, the third and final image from this series of 3 pictures taken at the beachside vacation that we took. This is the view from the house that we rented. This is our last night in St. George Island in Florida, and I didn't even plan on taking this picture. This was just like completely, it was a moment of serendipity. It's actually, this is dark. You wouldn't know it by looking, but this scene was dark. You're seeing just the moon. That's not the sun. And there's no sun in the sky. In last week's photo, the sun was still in the sky, and you could see the sky, and the whole scene was still lit by the sun as well as the moon. Here, the sun had long since gone down, and all of us stood on the porch, kind of resting our arms on the railing, waiting for the moon to rise. And we knew that the moon was going to rise. We had checked. It was going to rise at like 9:29 or something like that. So we're all waiting for the moon to rise. It was just totally dark. We're looking out the ocean and can't really see much. And then this little sliver of light shows up just over the horizon. And then it gets bigger and bigger. And because the moon, when it's so low, the moon and the sun, when they're so low in the sky, the atmosphere that it's going through to reach our eyes is so much thicker than when it's straight overhead. It's one atmosphere when it's straight overhead. When it's looking over the horizon like that, the angle that we're looking at it through the atmosphere means that there's just more atmosphere to pass through. And so you get these deep, rich red, yellow, orange colors, almost like it's the sun, except it's the moon. It's just reflecting the sun, which is why it's kind of yellowish in the ocean there. That's how it works. The moon has no light. It's just a rock in the sky, but it reflects the light of the sun. And our friend's child said, "Hey, can you take a picture of that?" And I said, I guess. Like, I didn't really think much of it. But he was interested, so I said, sure, I'll give it a try. And I got my camera, I got the tripod. I took 3 shots maybe. And I didn't really like them too much. They were so dark. You couldn't really see anything. This was actually shot at f9 to let as much light in as reasonably possible. This is a 26-second exposure, and I shot it at ISO 800, which on the Fuji is not super great. It's not terrible, but it's getting a little noisy, a little grainy. And the final image was just dark. You could just see like a dot of light. And what I was able to do, though, because I shot this in RAW, was just really bring up the colors in Lightroom. And it almost... I went back and forth on the editing on this, and my wife helped me a lot to kind of figure out a balance so that it looked like a nighttime photo, which I hope it does, because it was nighttime. It looks like day because there's so much light on the beach, but it was a nighttime shot, and I want it to look like night, but that meant there was nothing to see. If all you saw was what we actually saw, which was this little dot of light in the sky. So anyway, what I decided on is this picture is, while edited, is not, and so in that sense, it's not necessarily reality. This picture represents or reflects what we felt in that chunk of time as we're watching the moon rise. And it's sort of like a heightened version of reality. Not everything is real. Like, there's nothing artificial. I didn't use some sort of like AI moon processing or something like that. I did use Lightroom's AI noise reduction algorithm, but everything you see here is how it was, just the colors, the shadows lifted and little colors punched up to get it to feel like how it felt. So I don't know if that's cheating or not, but it's my photo. I get to do what I want. So I'm full disclosure here. And I hope you like it. I would encourage you to go to Flickr and look at the full resolution version. It's pretty cool. It was really fun to take this shot, and it's a good reminder of just a phenomenal vacation we had with our friends down in St. George Island, Florida.